We start tonight at 5 o'clock with these emotional moments from the courtroom earlier today. It all occurred as an Indianapolis mother lost custody of her daughter, at least temporarily. The decision follows the death of her toddler, who accidentally shot and killed himself using the mom's gun.
Rich Nye had his camera in the courtroom when the judge issued the no contact order, adding to this mother's grief.
Listen to me.
Kiera Bickett.
Listen to me.
A no contact order.
It's temporary. The child is listed as a witness.
Judge Angela Davis told Bickett for now she can have no unsupervised visits with her 9-year-old daughter. Court records say the girl was in the front seat of a car with Bickett and 2-year-old Javarius Bickett when the boy found a gun in his mother's unzipped purse and shot and killed himself. The shooting happened June 19th while they were driving through a CVS parking lot on the north side of Indy. Bickett is charged with neglect of a dependent resulting in death. The prosecution says Bickett's daughter will be called as a witness in the case. The girl's grandmother will care for the child during the no contact order, but it's a complicated situation.
I know you've had the child since June, right?
Yes.
And is it your mother, the grandmother?
Yes.
And is that somewhere where you're living?
Yes.
You live at that house?
Yes, and I also take care of my stepfather. He lives there too.
The judge will allow Bickett to keep working at the house caring for her stepfather, but she cannot be alone with her daughter.
If the child has questions, then you have somebody else talk with the child. But you can't say things like, don't say anything or mom's going to go to jail. Do you understand? You may never take the child to school, pick up the child by yourself, have any time where there's not another adult.
Melissa Etheridge is the grandmother. She has a tattoo of Javarius on her arm. The family believes the level 1 felony charge against Kiera is too harsh for an accident.
Bickett told the judge she still plans to hire her own attorney and is meeting with one soon. Bickett is due back in court September 22nd when the judge will revisit the terms of the no contact order. At the Marion County Community Justice Campus, Rich Nye, 13 News.
At the next hearing, the judge will consider testimony or a report from the Department of Child Services on whether the no contact order should remain in place until the case is concluded. Bickett faces a 20 to 40-year sentence if convicted.
We're also now learning that the time 3 men will be spending in prison for 3 different murders that went down all across Indianapolis.
A judge sentenced Michael Coleman to 65 years in Sonny Gilbert's death. Gilbert actually identified Coleman as the suspect in the Northeast Side shooting before he died in August of 23.
Michael Owens will spend 60 years in prison for the murder and the death of Keontae Wells Leonard. That happened on the Far East Side nearly 2 years ago, September of 2023.
And it's 50 years in prison for Jaquay Mason. A jury convicted him in the murder of Abel Ramos Utay. It happened outside a liquor store on the Northwest Side in October of 2023.
Developing tonight, the Marion County coroner now is identifying a 24-year-old man who died of traumatic injuries. Ronnie Amin was found near 38th and Post when officers responded there to a report of a crash. It happened just before 7 o'clock last night. Homicide detectives now are investigating.
A 22-year-old man from Canada is now facing child sex crimes. He's accused of driving to Hendricks County to have sex with a teen he met online. Mahdi Hosseini is facing charges of child molestation, promotion of sexual trafficking of a younger child, and child solicitation. The girl's mom told police he showed up to their home claiming to be the father of the girl's friend and was picking her up for an event. Instead, the 13-year-old said he took her to a hotel in Avon for sex. The mom told police she knew her daughter was messaging someone on Discord, but thought he was a boy, not a 22-year-old man.
Students in Indianapolis say enough is enough, and they're speaking out, making their voices heard today by walking out of class.
Jenna Webster shares the message they hope lawmakers hear.
This is part of a nationwide event. Students across the country are walking out of the classroom today saying they're fed up with not feeling safe at school.
No more silence and gun violence!
Permission slip in hand, students from Shortridge High School put down their pens and took the bus to the State House, meeting with other high schoolers from around the area. It's part of the Students Demand Action protest against gun violence. After 2 children were shot and killed at Annunciation Catholic School, students say enough is enough. urging lawmakers to pass an assault weapon ban.
I hope that our government and legislators and senators, everyone who has some sort of control, will realize that this is not okay and that we are the next generation and that we are going to be the people growing up in this world, and we will not stand for that.
I mean, you hear all the chanting. These students are so passionate about this issue. They don't want their voices to just be heard. They really want to see action come out of this. In Indianapolis, Jenna Webster, 13 News.
And as Jenna just mentioned there, this was a nationwide event today. We saw similar walkouts all across the country, like the one in Louisville at DuPont Manual High School. Students across Minnesota also walked out of class a little more than a week after the school shooting that went down there in Minneapolis. They're also calling for lawmakers to pass bans on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
All right, it's Friday, so let us talk about some weather. It is a beautiful day as we have been seeing, but look, there's some haze opposed to the blue skies we've had.
Yeah, we've had some of that smoke from wildfires come our way because of the wind direction over the last 24 hours. You'll also notice some clouds and thought we might get a couple of showers. The good news right now, radar is clear, so go ahead and make those Friday night plans. If you are south of Indianapolis, that's where we have a better chance of a passing shower or two. So think Bloomington, Columbus, Bedford, Seymour, North Vernon, maybe Greensburg. But even if we get a few showers, they're going to be few and far between, and everything is going to be really light. Over most of central Indiana, we have that haze and a cloud deck arriving thanks to that weather system out to our west. 74 Noblesville, 73 Bainbridge, and 72 in Connorsville right now. Temperatures will stay in the upper 60s and low 70s over the next several hours. Headed to high school football, you could throw the umbrella in. I really don't think you'll need it, and you won't need it as we head into a couple big college games tomorrow. That is a noon kickoff for IU. Temperatures in the 60s, and it's a night kickoff, 7:30 at Ross-Ade, also in the 60s.
Thanks, Angela. Tonight, Indianapolis is home to some of the most congested interstates in the state, and INDOT is looking at how to improve them when they look ahead over the decades to come.
So it's starting now with a study looking at what's needed and what can be done. Ashton Hackman explains the concepts already on the drawing board.
Sunken interstates, beautified bridges, and more lanes. All possibilities for Indianapolis interstates in the next decade.
No decisions have been made on these. They're all potential concepts for INDOT to consider down the road. We'd be looking at potential construction, 5, 10, 20 years down the line.
The study by Propel Indy launched in 2023 and is now in the next phase. INDOT eyeing these areas for future improvements. Interstate 65 and 70 in and around downtown, some of the busiest in the state. The American Transportation Research ranks the north and south splits in the top 100 most congested interchanges in the country. This second to last phase of the study is picking out concepts that work and concepts that don't.
As we've developed these, we've looked at safety concerns, urgency of needs, aging infrastructure.
One of the costliest and most complex parts of this plan is here at the South Split. If you drive it, you know that there are drivers constantly weaving in and out of lanes. This study is looking at potential solutions to fix it. One proposal recommends designated lanes for drivers continuing through to 65 and one for those going west on 70. New bridges would connect neighborhoods currently disconnected, but the price tag is hefty, $1.9 billion. One of the many possibilities still in the concept phase.
We know that, constant construction can be frustrating, but the goal here is to improve our infrastructure and transportation.
A bold and visionary goal, still years out from becoming a reality. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
And INDOT would like to hear from you. What do you think of these proposals? You can find where to submit your feedback and also some dates for some of the future public hearings that are set up if you find this story right now online at our website at WTHR.com.
Well, we are getting excited for Operation Football tonight.
Yes, Friday night, Dom and Eli are already out and about. They're headed to Bishop Chatard High School for our Band of the Week. We're going to check in with them coming up here at 5:30. But right now, listen up. You can start casting your vote for the high school that you would like them to visit next Friday morning for sunrise kickoff.
So your choices for next week are Arsenal Tech, Hamilton Heights, and Park Tudor. So place your votes now on WTHR.com/Operation Football. And you got to check this out, okay? We are getting a look at progress made on Brunette Field in Cathedral High School. So this is the new home of the Fighting Irish soccer and lacrosse team.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
They're planning to dedicate that field coming up next Saturday. That's a big project there.